we go. Episode 3. Are we live? We're live? Excellent. Okay, just give it a second. Let's see. I think the third one's the charm. I don't hear an echo in the building. Do you hear an echo? I think we fixed that problem from episodes 1 and 2. But anyways, happy Friday, everybody. Let's wait a little bit, see if get everybody squared away. All right. Yeah, today's gonna be a good episode. We got a lot of information. There's a lot of questions out there when it comes to field operations, but let's do the intro. All right, be right back. Let's go. Welcome back to Mission HQ, everybody, and especially all my unit members. Thank you for subscribing into the channel. I really appreciate that. I am Vilmar Lara, your host, also known as the Sergeant of Real Estate. We've spent the last 2 missions talking about preparation and the mistakes first-time home buyers need to avoid. Crucial. Today we left the classroom. I went to a couple of showings. I did some recordings. Obviously it's field operations for today. I did a walkthrough of a property, and I'm going to show you how, as a realtor, I look at a property or a home. It's not just a house, but also as a potential investment and a place to live and a financial decision, right? Because here's the thing, anyone can walk into a beautiful house and say, I love it. That's the number one most response for first-time home buyers and even experienced investors. My job is to ask, should you actually buy it? That is the question. It's a very different question compared to the first one, So today I'm going to show you what I do for what questions I ask myself, what potential red flags get my attention, and what I want my clients thinking about before they even write an offer. Sometimes I do have clients with me while we're doing showings, and sometimes I don't have clients with me while I still do a showing. What I do is I record and walk through the showing without my client, as some of my clients are from out of state. And I help them get through the transaction or the transition between dealing with an offer, inspectors, real estate attorneys, the whole 9 yards, even if they're not in state. So let's sound off in the chat. Let's sound off in the chat, see where we're watching from. And what are you currently looking for in a home? Or are you currently looking for a home? Anybody sound off in the chat? Where are you watching from? Are you active duty member? Are you a veteran? Are you a first-time home buyer? Are you a civilian? So I have a video already prepared here that I uploaded this afternoon onto my channel. But before we walk inside and we do the evaluation, I want you to do something today. Don't look at this house like a buyer. Look at it like an investigator, right? Because the most expensive problems in a house aren't always the things you see first. The beautiful kitchen might distract you from something that could cost you thousands. Again, let me repeat that. The beautiful kitchen might distract you from something that could cost you thousands. So we're going to slow down and look at this property differently. Here's definitely towards the end, I'm going to give you 5-point field that you can use at your next showing if you're currently looking for properties or looking at properties in the future, or maybe you can even reflect and ask yourself, did I go through these 5 different points? Again, towards the end, I'm going to give you my 5 field checklist that you can use at your next showing. Okay, let's get this. I have the volume. Well, let's see. Are we set? We are set up. Mic check. All right, Lima Charlie. So what I did here, I already uploaded this walkthrough here. It was recorded on my phone, obviously, so the graphics, it should be fine. I did mute the audio. It's for a specific client. We're just going to get through the basics, right? So the first thing I do, let's see, entering the property, examining the exterior first. So let's talk about, I'll discuss the location and everything we look for as the video plays. It's 30 minutes. I don't think we'll be watching the whole thing, but as soon as we cover what we need to cover. So for instance here, obviously you guys have heard the term location. So in here, I'm looking into the location. The first thing I look for is the neighborhood. I did a couple roundabouts in the neighborhood, check out, traffic patterns. Are there nearby businesses? afar or close are any near schools in the vicinity. I checked out if there are any parks, and absolutely there's parks. There's a huge park down the street from there. There's a couple of schools. The District 60 for Lake County out here is nearby as well. Transportation, public transportation. There is public transportation in this neighborhood and the overall surroundings. The first thing we look for is first impressions. Does it have curb appeal? How's the landscaping? We checked out the driveways. We checked out the sidewalks and the exterior conditions. I think those are pretty important there. Questions to ask, right? What would I do, or what would it be like to live here every day? That's one question for a buyer to ask themselves. What would it be like to live here every day? Another question you could ask yourself, what does this neighborhood look like at 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. or during the week or even during the weekend? Let's see what else. What's happening around this property? That's another thing too. So once we push in here into the basement, I'll bring in a military analogy. This is what I do. This is what I call reconnaissance. Before you enter the building, you need to understand the environment around it. So I'm constantly being vigilant about the neighborhoods, about the property itself, about the foundations. And once we enter, we're going into phase 2. Entry and structure. So the first thing, so now we enter into the property, right? I don't immediately run towards the kitchen, right? So a good foundation is going to give you more bang for your buck. Obviously, it's a huge investment that you're committing to, and it is imperative that you look at. Obviously, you look around there. I'd like to examine the flooring, the walls. Is there any water intrusion? The ceilings, the doors. Do they need? Are they aesthetically at 100%, or do they need a little bit of work? I look at the windows. Have they been done recently? Is there any crevices that might need to be filled in, or things of that nature? I look at staircases, any signs of moisture, right? This particular basement looks like it's been painted recently. I don't know, it doesn't show, obviously, too many signs of a water intrusion or anything like that. But then again, let's give that task over to the professionals who are subject matter experts into their niche, which is the inspector. I'm not trying to take away from the inspector's subject matter expertise, which I'll explain in a little bit. But these are the obvious things that we look for. We look for signs of moistures. We look for cracks, any type of general maintenance. I mean, the list just goes on. And again, to say, I'm not an inspector. I am not here to diagnose this property. I'm looking for things that tell me that we need to ask more questions or bring in the appropriate professionals for it. That's what the purpose is. That's what my purpose is. To find out where we need to ask more questions about items in the property. So I'm here on checking the stairs, the functionality of it. Obviously, security between, it's a duplex. This is a duplex property. Obviously, we went through the basement, came in from the first unit down the basement, came out the backside to the second unit up the stairs. And in here, I'm checking the steps, I'm checking the tile. Here's the kitchen. So phase 3, right? The kitchen. The kitchen is where buyers often get emotionally attached. By far. And here, as an investigator, not a buyer, this is where you want to separate emotion from evaluation. We have to look at the cabinet conditions. You see me knocking on the backsplash. Checking the countertops. We're checking appliances, the year, what year they are, what brand they are, the condition of it. We're checking for plumbing fixtures. Under the sink areas, the windows. We're also checking out the layout. That's important. Is there storage? And overall functionality. So I'm trying to decipher which door is for what. Just to make sure that there's a second unit closed door up top, second unit closed door in the front and in the back. There should be 2 exits, one in the back, one in the front. Looking for the space, the functionality of the rooms. We're checking for closet space, sturdiness, which leads us to, obviously the second room, leads us to phase 4, which is bathrooms and water. Bathrooms and water, we discuss in here water pressure. That's why you see every inspector I've had, they run water for at least 15 to 20 minutes just to make sure that there are no visible leaks. It doesn't require caulking in and around the sinks, the showers. Flooring, we check the flooring, we check the fixtures, we check the doorknobs here. Doesn't look like it's functional. Any type of signs of moisture. The functionality of it again. Is it spacious enough? Checking the windows. I didn't see storage there. Access to the basement. So we're checking kitchen, straight across bathroom. I compared the second unit, which is this one here, got less attention than the first unit, as you guys will see. Again, remember, everybody. We're not diagnosing anything. We are identifying questions that need answers. Living room looks spacious. It's got like a nook in the front. Again, we're checking on functionality. There's revolving doors. I think this was a revolving door. Unit, this is a red flag recon side quest. I'm going to point out things that don't necessarily mean walk away, but they do mean ask questions. So just be attentive to it. So the first one, red flag recon, checking the functionality of the entrance. I'm explaining here to the client which door leads to what part of the property, right? And then this is, again, a walk-in closet. Love those. It's kind of in a weird location. It's right behind the fireplace. It's not a red flag, but it is going to ask questions, right? How many doors do you have? How many door keys do you need? Obviously, phase 5. And here I'm checking the windows. But phase 5 consists of bedrooms and livability. We already went and saw, we checked bedroom sizes, closet spaces, checked the windows for natural light, noise. Is there privacy? Here we had a non-functioning doorknob here. Is there privacy in the bedrooms? Obviously, they're on the second floor. Check the second floor unit here. We checked out the layout, number of bedrooms versus the buyer's needs, or vice versa. The buyer's needs to the number of bedrooms. So you got to ask yourself, could your family actually live comfortably here? And here I noticed that the windows were not replaced like there were in Unit 1. There's my little handy dandy notebook. Taking notes. Again, checking the doors. So we went through phase 5, phase 6, the expensive stuff. And that's the one no one likes to talk about. Oh, speaking of which, that's a big crack on the wall there. This is one of the most valuable sections, right? The expensive stuff, phase 6. You should investigate, as well as the professional that you need to hire as an inspector. The roof. This is the expensive stuff for phase 6. The roof, age, and condition. See, I'm looking at the functionality there. The HVAC. Heating, venting, and air conditioning. The age of the equipment, when's the last time they did maintenance, and the efficiency, meaning the tonnage of the equipment that's there. I know a little bit about HVAC. The tonnage that it requires in order to maintain the property cool. Obviously, at the beginning of the video, you saw me looking at the meters, the electrical meters. For some reason, I do believe I was requesting to find out where the electrical panels were, where the electrical panel was. The general condition and questions for professionals that you might have. We also need to check the plumbing, age, materials. They have copper, they have galvanized pipes. I mean, as many inspections as we've done, you pick up on a lot of what I like to have the inspectors discuss with our clients. What the potential hazards are for lack of maintenance, what might need to be repaired. This is functionality door here right next to the refrigerator or some kind of cooler. But I do request that from inspectors, and you pick up on some of their subject matter expert lingo. Galvanized piping, copper piping, all kinds of stuff. Most of the houses are built in, different era, so obviously they were built with different material. So after piping and the electrical, we look at foundation, we look at the drainage. I have a clip there where I looked at the main. We look for things that warrant professional evaluation, basically. And obviously the windows. If you look at the windows down here in the first unit, they look recently repaired, recently changed. So now we're looking at lighting. We look at the condition and we look at the efficiency, right? Because if they replace them and they're not efficient, then you might have to have that cost move on to you as a new buyer. So again, I don't want you leaving here thinking that you can diagnose a house from a YouTube video, right? Your job is to recognize when something deserves a professional attention. As a realtor, that's what we do. That's why inspections are essential. They are priority. They are necessary. You don't need them. But like last episode, I mentioned the case where a buyer decided not to spend $400 or $500 on an inspection, ended up with a $40,000-$50,000 repair. It was an unforeseen repair that the client was too eager to purchase the property to start, living in it or repairing it or getting it ready for rental. but within 2-3 months, the inevitable happened. So it's preparation and state of readiness. Looks like they were still doing some kind of painting, repairs. I did ask, but I have not received a response yet on if they're selling the property as is or if they're still finishing up on some of the repairs that they're doing here. I think we're going over here the space, explanation, the closet, the doors. There's multiple doors. Checking the windows, again, functionality. Checking the lighting, checking the space. Do you want to fit a king size bed, queen size bed? One second. We'll keep watching that. Give me 1 second, be right back. You see how the first unit, this is the first unit, it's got more attention. Flooring looks nicer. Functionality looks better. Windows got done. Maybe not so much the electrical outlets and stuff like that, but it was a work in progress. Nonetheless. So, do I like this house? Does this house, ask yourself, does this house make financial sense? For me, to me. I would question the purchase price, estimated monthly payment, obviously property taxes. If you're a veteran, there's a cap where you can get your taxes reduced to zero. There's a threshold. To all my veteran clients, I always get them to, get their taxes down to zero, depending on the property value or the property price, purchase price. So after property taxes, you gotta, question the insurance cost, HOA, if applicable, little rainy day budget for maintenance, potential repairs. I think I'm closing the door here. Long-term affordability, right? Because it's easy to get the property, it's harder to keep it. And resale considerations. I'll give you guys the five topics for it. But before we get to that, the 5-point field checklist. The most expensive house you can buy isn't necessarily the one with the highest price. It's the house you can afford to buy, but can't comfortably afford to keep. Remember that. So you got two sets. Windows done nice on the bottom, windows not done so nice at the top. Obviously, we talked about the HVAC units, separate, different. One's older, one's newer. Again, we go back to, I wouldn't say unforeseen costs, it's just that, just little things like that, right? And here, I'm looking at the property lines. I'm looking at the neighbor's condition of the property. I'm looking at where the line of the property is. Obviously, those trees, it looks like that tree line is the property line. So I'm looking at that cable that's connected over to the electrical pole. Is that something that's going to affect my client? Is that something that is on the other side of on the neighbor's side? And then we got a little treat here, which was it's a Humvee. It's an old school United States Army Humvee, which I thought it was so neat. I haven't seen one of those in about 10 to 15. And here we try to get access to the garage. I believe they were still doing maintenance on it, or they didn't have the key available at the time. But would have loved to see the condition of the garage. Obviously, it's so now in here we're looking at the fence. We're looking at the property line to see if how old which fence belongs to who. How old the fence is. Will it need to be replaced? Is it the neighbor's fence? Is there old fence? Is there a new fence involved? So I get really thorough with my showings, with my walkthroughs. Been doing it since day one. Don't plan on stopping it. Every transaction I go through, I treat it as if it was my own. There you go. You can sell some of that wood there. See opportunity everywhere, anywhere. comments, questions, concerns, anyone? Notice that this tree was embedded into the garage. Right there. They have become one. Obviously, the inspector would go thoroughly in there. Just a little treat. USMC. And then the Army. Okay, so the sergeant's 5-point field checklist. Number 1, location. It is imperative. Location. Can I live in this location long term? The condition. Number 2. Location, condition. What needs attention now? If you can reflect on what we saw on that video. What needs attention now? Obviously, we saw the outlets needed attention. Some of the handles on the doors needed attention. The AC units. Perhaps any paint that needs to be finished. Number 3, cost. What will this really cost me every month? Whether you're renting it, whether you're living in it and renting the other unit, whether you're, using it as an investment, moving your family in, live one, rent the other. Number 4 is what's the risk? What needs professional evaluation? I'll be honest with you. The 2 things I do not, I guess it just depends on the property, but for inspections, there's not a property I skip on. Whether it's a personal investment or trying to guide my clients into getting an inspection. It's imperative you get an inspection. The optional one that I always do either way, optional for the client, I do suggest sewer scopes. This is an inspection with cameras that go into your main, and they check out 40, 50, 60, even 70 feet out to the street and check out the drainage. If it's made out of certain material, clay, if it's different material that the pipings are made with, I always get a sewer scope. And occasionally I start with, if it's obviously for an FHA and VA you need the appraisals. Even if I was doing a transaction, a personal transaction with a conventional, I would still do an appraisal. I'd like to know what I'm getting out of the property, whether I buy the property cash or with a finance. Can't skip that. To each their own. That's the suggestions. I'd rather pay now less than pay a whole lot later. So if you remember nothing else from today's mission, remember these 5: location, condition, cost, risk, Future. Future, will this property still make sense 5 years from now? Oh, it better. Oh, it better. So we can jump into Q&A. If anybody has comments, questions, or concerns. If anybody has comments, questions, concerns. If you were standing in this house with me right now, what would you want me to investigate? That's a good question. If you were standing with me in this house right now, what would you want me to investigate? Do I really need an inspection? I already went over that. It's covered. You don't need anything. You want everything. But if you don't need these items and consequences happen, you will need to cover those costs. What should I ask the seller? Well, as a client, you can't really ask as a buyer to a seller. But what you can ask your realtor is to ask the listing agent, the seller's agent, to give you a update sheet of maintenance, repairs, what they've done to the property within the last 10 to 15 years or so, maintenance for the boiler or the AC unit or the heater. You can request those. And hopefully they have them, obviously with professional receipts and whatnot. By the third-party company appraisal is loyalty to the VA, not the lender. The lender requests an appraisal from the VA. The VA requests an appraisal from a third-party appraisal company. More than likely, they're really strict. The appraisals are really strict when it comes to VA loans, and sellers would have to get the property up to date in order for the VA client to be in a property that's functional, in a property that doesn't there's no chip paint and stuff like that. There's a lot of conditions to it. They're trying to look out for the VA client through the VA. That's on a client to client basis. Comments, questions, concerns? I think we can jump into mission orders. Let's see, this week's assignment. Your mission before Monday is simple over the weekend. The next time you walk into a house or property, don't immediately look at the countertops. Look at the entire property. Ask yourself location, condition, cost, risk, future. Write down those 5 words down in your phone. Next time you're touring a property, use them. It's a good basis to start. Thank me in the morning. Again, comments, questions, concerns, anybody? Take give me about 30-45 seconds. Be right back. Yep, we're tracking. That's Big Tim 4, Lima Charlie over. Okay, unit. Today's field operation. Today we didn't just learn and walk through a house. We learned how to look at a property differently. And that's what Mission HQ is about. I am not here to tell you every house is a good house. I'm here to help you understand how to make that better decisions, right? Because buying a home isn't just about finding the prettiest house. It's about finding the right property for your mission, for your finances, and more importantly, for your future, meaning your family. If you got value out of today's episode, please make sure you subscribe, share this with someone who's preparing to buy, or know of someone who's preparing to buy, and come back Monday. Monday, we're going back to mission briefing, where we're going to break down what's happening in the market and what you actually need to pay attention to. Until then, stay disciplined, stay prepared, complete the mission. I am Vilmar Lara, the Sergeant of Real Estate. Mission HQ is standing down. Lima Charlie over. Until next time, cool.